You blaming our bosses, our moms, or that guy who bagged our groceries last week? Nope, it's all on us, people. Think of it like this. We're just two dudes with microphones and way too much free time. And while we're at it, let's be clear. Our jokes, rants, and random thoughts, purely our own genius or nonsense. Depends on the day, so sit back, relax, and remember, if you're offended, it's definitely not because of our employers. It's all Stacy and Casey, baby. Covering our butts, one disclaimer at a time.
He finished, I finished, and we left the bathroom.
What's going on, baby? I'm Stacy.
Drive Turkeys. I'm Casey. And we are
the
Stacy and Casey show.
Wild Boys.
We are crazy. Look out. Here comes Stacy and Casey. We are unhinged. I don't know.
Unhinged.
We are
Unhinged. Off the chains. Don't know what they might say.
Man.
No, this week has been great. How was Father's Day?
Oh my God. Father's Day is terrific. And my wife just said this to me. Look at that. That's a fucking deer. Okay.
Didn't get too good of a view there. But...
Yeah, no. Father's Day was awesome, man. My dad, he came over, John and my mom, so we barbecued, and they got to see all the chickens, and I gave
How
them
many
both.
chickens you had now?
Dude, I got over 100. I just say over 100.
It's almost a fetish now.
No, it's been a fetish for almost a year.
Oh my Jesus!
No, it is what it is, and I don't plan on getting any more. I'm happy with what I have. It's still so easy to flip the eggs. I just gotta walk in the office, be like, "Hey, this is what I got." People are like, $5, boom. So it's paying for itself. It's keeping me young and healthy, and can't complain. Oh, and what?
Young and healthy. I like that positive energy. I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are working on Casey getting the positive vibe.
I told you,
young and healthy.
Young and healthy for where I could be if I wasn't on this path. But
you got 2 arms, 2 legs,
2 arms, 2 legs, 2 thumbs. Good smile. All my original teeth.
All my original teeth makes a difference. Huge difference.
Yeah. Oh, and beautiful hair. Yeah.
Hey, that's gonna be the new trend we're doing on the weeks. Hey, he's gotta wave the locks for us.
Hey, you know what?
And super handsome, they say out there. And super handsome.
Super handsome. Ooh, who said that? I have a admirer. I hope it's my wife.
Oh, it is.
I might be getting lucky tonight.
Ow!
Ow! Hey, I want you to show that picture of me and my folks with their matching knives. Dude, I went back and looked at this picture, and looking at my face and my hair.
The way you said that, I'm sorry, was the most redneck shit.
Dude, that's where I was getting at. This is like, what's that one show? One movie called with Burt Reynolds? You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't even looked at the picture yet. That's perfect. Oh.
Look how creepy that
Y'all look like some fucking cereal.
We're all holding up knives like we're ready to go kill somebody. If somebody was murdered in the area and they saw that picture, they're like, "Oh yeah, well they did it."
Oh, this made my day. Oh, this was perfect.
Look at everything.
The joy. You look crazy as hell. Hey, yeah. I wish I could zoom in for the people out there. This is everything.
Yeah,
this is everything I needed for the day. This is crazy.
You know what the funny thing is? A couple hours after they left, my mom texted me. Yeah. Do you mind if John and I trade knives?
Oh, that's wild.
I was like, sure.
The best part is the way you look in the middle. Like you look like the deranged. Well,
I'm holding up mine, showing I got mine too.
But it's the clothes. You got the white beater on, right?
With the Hawaiian shirt, which wife beaters wear when they're on vacation. Hawaiian shirts open in the front to show that you're really
still about that life.
Still a wife beater. Wearer.
Oh, it's golden.
No.
Oh, that's a great picture though. Like it's a family photo. Everybody's happy. There's joy. But you look deranged.
I was so happy with joy and just at the same time holding up a knife, and together it just comes off
So
creepy.
I kind of busted a nut, but it's okay. No, I'm like you, motherfucker.
Oh no!
But you have
Shame my
something to be
parents.
proud of here.
Oh, that's the original. That's the bone cutter, baby. That's what.
I mean, the skill set where you've come when you look at that photo, when they look at it, you've come a long way. Skill set.
Yeah. Show that one picture of the picture of the knives. Here's a close up of just the sheaths and the knives that I made. And instead
Look
of
at the
doing
handles.
yeah, and on my knife it's all shiny, and on those I did a textured look over the front. And
They look like they were made out of a rock.
yeah, that was my first time doing it, and turned it both the handles. Yeah, I'm very
Your handle game is crazy. Anybody needs their knives reshaped, rehandled, redone, remastered. That might be where you need to be.
dude.
You make a great handle.
It's fun to try shit. It's like you can any artistic thought you have that can be a handle, that can be a handle. Fucking put it together, try it. It's so
give it a
fucking
run.
easy. It's fun.
What about the dartboard?
Dartboard? Ooh, yeah, I have an idea. No, I'm just
Dartboard.
kidding. Yeah, so that was my Father's Day. How was your Father's Day, Mr. Bonds?
Mine was chill.
Okay.
Relaxing. Got to watch little man play some football.
Oh yeah.
That
Paul
was
was
fun.
show me the picture on Facebook.
Yeah, he looks like a little linebacker. He's ready. I just want him to love it and not do it just because I want him to. Right. So ate good, relaxed. I can't complain. I didn't do nothing like you did, labor intensive, but look at your physique and look at mine, you know.
Wear my tights today. I feel like a lion.
This is starting to get questionable. At this point, it's always the
I'm gonna keep my hands up like this for the rest of the show.
Hey, just do this.
I'm doing this.
Hey, so we're now going to refer to him as a cat, ladies and gentlemen. The rest of the show, I mean, the world, appreciates you. Hey,
Okay,
I'm not doing that. I was like, I can't even go no further.
dude.
But no, I've been honestly just kind of keep it up, and it's funny because I've been thinking about the last episode and you saying it's always Men in Black. There's always something coming, always something coming. And that's really been weighing on my mind because this week there's been a lot of shit coming, right? Like as far as Iran sending nukes, and this is the first time in 50 years, they say, since they've been a nation that they've sent missiles, right? Damn, Casey, again, excuse me.
Sorry.
Nasty mother. But the first time in 50 years they've actually sent bombs, and with them bombing the shit out of Israel and destroying the Iron Dome, just showing that it's penetrable now. I feel like that's kind of opened up a wave to show they can be hit. And I'm concerned about what the future may entail. And I know you're saying, oh, this is always happening. But with Trump just today getting up and leaving the G7 summit, we talked about this earlier, and going to meet with his generals, that makes me feel it's a little bit more prevalent now than it would be just smoke and mirrors, right?
From my understanding, and this is actually from talking to a third party, somebody else just sounded like they knew what they were talking about. I mean, this is what's going on. Trump wants Iran and the other people to come to the table and come to an agreement. And they're like, no, we're not going to come to the table. We're going to get our nukes ready and shit. And Trump's like, no, if you do that, we're going to bomb your nuking station and you're going to be fucked. And you better come to the table. They're like, no, we're not coming. And the bomb that he has is apparently the biggest bomb that's not a nuke.
But they've been saying this forever.
And this is like I'm not going to my spiel. The bomb, as far as I know, is like 300 tons, something like that, and it penetrates 300 feet into the ground before it explodes. So it's like a huge bomb that he's threatening to blow up. And that's why he said to what's the McCullochs,
Tehran,
to get out of there now.
So my concern there, wouldn't that be another Chernobyl situation if we blow up a nuclear site? Nuclear radiation leaked in Chernobyl. You still can't have a Chernobyl.
Okay, I didn't know what you're talking about.
Chernobyl?
Chernobyl? No, it sounds like a candy bar.
Chernobyl. Chernobyl, however they pronounce it in Russia. The nuclear leak that literally they shut down a whole city over.
I think maybe you were in a time warp or something, or maybe we're in different dimensions for a little while. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe we need to pull this up. So really quick, I'm going to let you go ahead.
But anyways, back. I believe what you're
Chernobyl,
saying.
yeah. Explosion scene. Now, I'm educating
Okay.
Casey really quick because he's never seen it. Real quick, it's a nuclear explosion disaster, basically.
Mhm.
The land is now uninhabitable in Russia.
Okay.
Just a quick fill in for those who don't know.
So that's a huge, huge risk.
That's what I'm saying. If we blow that up, what the
So
fuck?
if I was Russia, I would be like, you know what? We should do what they say. Because what if this is a Chernobyl situation?
So this happened so long ago that it's uninhabitable. What I'm worried about is if they blow up the nuclear site in Iran.
And Iran, yeah.
Where does that nuclear go? Into the atmosphere? Where does that radiation go? Because eventually it's going to come out of the atmosphere in rainfall. Where does it go? And with weather warfare right now, you're blowing up a nuclear site. I guess I would have, I mean, even Bridgeton landfill, for instance, has nuclear radiation leaking into a creek and they're got shit going on. And that's little. You're blowing up a whole facility that has to impact the world. So I have to ask, as a person who is part of the world, why are we blowing it up? Like, is there another solution to this before we just blow it up?
We haven't blown it up yet, right?
That's what I'm saying. What's the solution?
And this is one of those catch-22s that it's like, okay, you know, you're gonna have to do something. Okay,
Well,
whatever we did in the past wasn't working. Now we have a no bullshit guy that we voted into office.
Well, you want to know what
a no
Iran
bullshit
did?
guy.
This is what Iran did.
So if he said,
say it. Why are all the kids like
yeah,
that?
why are the kids? What are they all yelling?
I don't know. I don't speak their language.
Oh.
That's not America. So what is that? Arabic, whatever they're speaking. I'm saying, you're saying, what do they do? That's what Iran did. They started raining bombs. Now we're saying we're getting involved.
Yeah.
I feel like Iran is just defending themselves. Personally, I feel like at this point,
but
if somebody, they called it their Pearl Harbor. If somebody blew up, if just for instance, a bomb comes into America and blows up anywhere in America from an outside source, what are Americans going to say to do? Fight back, right?
Yeah, but what's your point?
Why can't Iran fight back?
No, but they're threatening nuclear bombs.
Iran's not. That's Israel.
Okay.
Israel is threatening nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
Israel has been saying for 20 years that Iran has nuclear bombs. The same conversation.
So that's why we're threatening to bomb that site. So if
this is why we went to war before.
Okay, and if that goes in, but that's going to be the
what
better
if
of the
there?
evils. What's the
what if
the
it's
other
not
option?
there?
What if now? Okay, now you're switching the story.
No, I'm asking because we've been told this. We haven't seen it. Have you seen their nuclear facility, Iran's nuclear facility?
This is like a what if it doesn't exist. So this is,
I mean, that's what happened with weapons of mass destruction.
If it doesn't exist, then you're bombing a place. You don't have to worry about this stuff going into the atmosphere like you're talking about. We still get our point across, though. It's like about having nuclear shit over there because they just bombed that area. Well, good thing we didn't, though.
They said they want to nuclear enrich it for energy.
You said what if?
No, I'm asking these questions and you're getting defensive. I don't know why. I'm asking straight up, what if, because we went in for weapons of mass destruction before in a country that weren't there. Now, instead of calling it a weapon of mass destruction, it's nuclear. It's the same thing, but we're hitting another country over there, going to another war. The last time we saw this play out, and I don't see how you don't see it, there wasn't one.
I'm still asking what your what if situation was. What if? Well, what if there's not?
That's not a what if. That's a that happened. Is what I'm saying. Okay. Now we're doing the same thing in the same playbook with the same person saying the same shit as they said before. Not our president. This is Netanyahu saying they have this, trying to get us engaged in a war they've been trying to get us engaged in for a while. Mm-hmm. But I feel like before you were saying we shouldn't get in a war.
See now you're branching off. See, I don't know. I'm talking about the current situation at hand.
That's the current situation. This is it. Iran is bombing back.
Saying he's going to bomb if they don't what?
No, Trump
said he's going to bomb unless what?
Trump never said he was going to bomb. I am talking.
Or he'd get involved. I'm sorry.
If I believe it was they did not stop enriching uranium, which is the leader to a nuclear warhead. And again, Iran is saying we're not making nuclear warheads.
look at
We're
it.
trying to create energy for our society. This is their argument. Now, do we? And I'm saying, as a person who has watched us bomb countries before, for them saying they have weapons of mass destruction, and then it coming out they didn't have it, we're gonna let it happen again. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, I agree
And
with you 100%.
you don't have to agree with me. I'm just saying, as far as
Well,
if
yeah,
you,
in your hypothetical situation, and
this
because
isn't
of the
hypothetical.
okay, this is the real situation that happened
Again,
months before.
did we not? It's not months before. I'm talking
Happened
about
once
the
before.
Iraq War. We went to war over weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, that
Yes
didn't
or no?
exist.
Exactly.
Yeah, Trump knew that.
We're doing the same thing now, just to a different country, and the same person is telling Trump now they have them. They have nuclear warheads.
Before they knew that they didn't have weapons of mass destruction, they were lying to us people. And Trump is the one that came out in his
What if they're doing it again?
Trump is the one that came out and told the American people, hey, they were lying to you, by the way, and that's why everybody turned their shoulder on him. So why
And
is
what
that
if they
same
do the
person?
same
Why is that
playbook?
same person going to turn around and fuck up the same thing he was truthful about
For
during
what
his
you
first
just
campaign?
for what you just said?
To purposely lie?
No,
Well,
I think it's exactly what you just said. They would never believe it's happened. Like
who's
you just said, the people, us, the people, be like, he would never do that. He exposed them before. He would never do the same playbook. And people are, what you just said before the podcast, history repeats itself. We're watching, in my mind, a history repeats itself in a pretty quick simulation because it's the same concept.
Well, yeah.
If Biden was in office doing this, would you feel the same way?
Biden wasn't in office.
I'm just okay. If Obama was in office,
His corpse was
this,
in office.
would you be okay with it?
If this was going on right now,
Yes.
I would question it more because I don't trust certain other intentions of other presidents that look out for themselves. Trump, I think, we voted him in office because he looked out for the people. So if he makes decisions, it's for the people, not himself.
But
I don't think he's going to start war just to start war. It's not his style.
I don't think he's starting it just to start it. I'm saying, but he has done things that he said he wouldn't do. You know, and going to war is one of them. And now
he wants them to put it into it. That's what'll make him not want to get involved if they put it into it.
And if we engage in war, he's doing what he said he didn't want to do. Right? So it's one of these things that I'm asking as a person looking from the outside looking in, hey, how do we know for sure they have nuclear warheads? Have we seen this? Where did it come from? Where did you get the pictures? Where's the source? And if that's the case, how do we not know it's AI? Because we're fed propaganda.
Yeah, a lot of what ifs.
Exactly. That's why I said I've been thinking about your Men in Black situation this whole time, because this is what the media makes you think about, right? Is the what ifs. And that's where we live, in the what if, right? We have to plan, pre-plan.
Yeah. No, it's what if.
You pre-plan, right? That's why you have a homestead to take care of and provide your own things. Because if the grid went down, you're able to sustain, correct? That's why you have it. I mean, that'd be the only reason, or is it to make a farm and get rich?
It's to be productive while I distract myself from myself.
Distract yourself from yourself. That's a deep statement.
Yeah, that's because that's how I look at everything. That's the whole purpose of living, to distract yourself from yourself. And I do it in a very positive way where with great work comes great reward, great feeling. And one day I'll die with a great feeling.
I need you to elaborate on that. You'll die with a great feeling.
Well, if you continue to do things that are positive and rewarding, like farming, taking care of nature, things that are real, then it's going to come with great reward. If you focus on that all the time, then one day you are going to die. And if you're in that same bubble and that's what makes you happy, you're going to die in a good state of mind. Where if you're a negative person or you put yourself all over the grid, you have no focus, no meaning, no purpose, you're going to die with no purpose, no meaning, probably with no friends.
That's real shit.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the thought. I just am curious where you go with it and how you feel. I haven't had a Casey's thoughts moment in a while, so that was a good time.
Yeah, that's really, really how I feel.
Now, what if we get bombed? How do you feel?
we get bombed, I think that's more of an excuse to spend more time at my house. I think my stepdad just gave me a bunch of golf balls the other day. I can hit those into the trees.
And then gives you something to do later to go get them back.
Yeah, and the whole bombing thing, I told you, I don't care. If we start getting bombed, guess what? We're all in it together. It's like COVID.
No, because I've been watching these bombs. It don't look like they're taking out a lot. It looks like they're just leveling buildings. How big do the bombs get before you got to get worried?
I'm not worried. I'm
No,
not worried.
saying
It's
that's
like,
what I mean. I'm asking.
yeah. So I mean, if war is a chess game, sometimes you got to be the coach that does the Hail Mary. Sometimes you got to be the one that's really aggressive. Sometimes you got to be the one that's bluffing at the poker table. Sometimes you got to make great risks for great reward.
What about the one that takes a risk and calls the bluff and wins the reward?
Hey, so far so good. We got we're still where we're at, right? I mean,
Are we? I mean,
we're men in black. There's always something going on.
As far as when I look at world news, I kind of think we're a joke after the parade. But then again, I watch the parade and I'm like, man, it was kind of cool to watch the story of America in a parade. That's something you haven't seen before.
It looked like something I'd see in downtown St. Louis.
That's a parade. I don't know what. I don't know how else you want a parade to look. A parade is a parade.
Well, I mean, when you think, okay, President Trump, blah blah blah, it's gonna be orchestrated, man. The fucking those acting fucking soldier guys, they weren't even in step. Like, come on, left, right, left, right.
They said that was a form of protest to Trump. The soldiers said that was them showing that they're not going to march on his command.
Really?
That is, you can look into it. You put your phone out. I was like, I know you're a researcher.
All right, let's see that.
Everything I'm saying,
if somebody said that,
I think sometimes I educate
camera.
Casey and he's
So
stunned.
So when did you see this? Somebody actually
pull
said
it up.
in protest.
Just pull it up.
Okay.
These are things that we don't have time to talk.
What was that on?
And as we talk, I think of things to talk to him about because it's been so long since we spoke. So Casey this is really on the fly for him a lot of the time.
This is news because I don't spend my time looking at videos.
I know. We talked about. I know he doesn't have TikTok. I can't send him TikTok videos because he can't see them. YouTube. I'm not a huge YouTube user. He's the YouTube guy. So if he's responding, he's responding to you guys. Facebook, I manage to do that. So I know you're not ready for me on certain things because sometimes I don't even know we're going to talk about it. I just start talking.
U.S. Army's parade proceeds despite rain forecasts. No. What was this? What was it on?
I was a link to a link. Go to YouTube and type it in.
I went on Google. Troops protest Trump.
Put in at military parade.
At military parade.
Man. This guy here. Let me see. Sorry, guys, you're watching us pull up some information. I know Casey never believes me when I talk, and then we talk later, and he's showing me something I told him about. So I just want to see if he, we get on the same page here. I will say.
Don't act like you're schooling me. Don't talk about me third party like I'm a little bitch.
I'm educating him.
Educating me? Oh, right.
On certain things I do educate you on. Just like you educate me on.
Don't hold your nose up like that. I'm educating Casey on protesters and Trump.
Videos. Dude, I said, oh my God, you have a bad day?
You're giving me a bad evening right now. The way you're talking to me like I'm a fucking child.
No, I'm talking to the audience.
I don't care. Trump holds military parade amid no king's protest across U.S. All right, let me go to YouTube. BBC, CBN, Live, ABC. I'm on YouTube. I typed in troops protest Trump at military at parade.
With March. Put in with March. You know how to search it.
March. News about military parade, Donald Trump. ABC. No kings.
Go to newest, pushback. Filter to newest.
Post funding Trump's military. No. Did you see this on TikTok or something?
I actually saw this on YouTube.
Well, they must have hit it pretty well because I typed in what she
And they
said.
hide a lot of things, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, here you can.
But again, multiple people, multiple forms. When I find a video, which I don't, my phone makes it static. I'll send it to you with no problem.
I don't care. It's just
Well, I was saying we're talking about the parade, and when you mentioned that they weren't in step, I was
yeah, I'm calling.
telling you
I'm
why.
kind of calling. Yeah, I will call bullshit on that. I doubt
That's
somebody
fine.
saying, "Oh, we weren't in step because we wanted to protest Trump's thing." No, I
That's
doubt.
what they said. Now, is that them owning that they maybe didn't
So
perform at
one of the
standard?
troops was saying that to the camera, was wearing his whole getup.
No, he wasn't. He was in one of those American Revolutionary uniforms,
And you're
and it
saying
wasn't
that?
even them who were the ones that were out of step. It was a military parade, and which again, I'll send it to you. I'll allow you to debunk it. I have no problem with you debunking it. But again,
Sounds like bullshit.
that's fine. There's a lot of things we've been told and we've seen that we felt like bullshit at the time we heard it, and then it turned out to be true. And now we're like, damn, it happens all the time. To think that this one man who is still in the government with all these people around him, you think that he isn't part of them. He has to have a little bit of them in there. Because I think about the Minnesota senator that literally on live television was talking about after voting no to voting to give health care to the immigrants getting assassinated. There's so much going on that people are trying to conspire, and these are conspiracies, saying that we're turning into a dictatorship, that if you go against them, you're at risk. And there were blatant videos of people trying to say she looked like she was scared. Just like with the R. Kelly thing, people are saying that he was being poisoned because he's going against the system. When you go against the system, it doesn't work in your favor. And I just don't understand how this man, people were trying to assassinate before he became president, and now he's glorified. How did the narrative change so much, and where did these people go? Or is the Secret Service just that good that we don't hear about it now? There's just a lot of switches and changes in narrative.
Well, I don't see any problems so far. It's only been how many months? 6, 7 months.
6 months, and we have
Six-
protests all over
6
the
months.
country.
Yeah, which is not a big surprise.
Not riots, for the record, which me and you were talking about, which was a good thing. They were
Yeah.
trying to play it out like riots.
And what was our other option?
What do you mean?
No, other than Trump, what was their other option for
I
a
mean,
president?
did we have an option?
Exactly. And I think of,
Exactly, it's scary.
and also I'm a big believer in your enemy's enemy is your friend. And I look at all the people that detest Trump and hate him, like try to get him killed, like P. Diddy, the really root of evil people.
Where
And
did
those
it come out that P. Diddy tried to kill him?
No, P. Diddy actually put it out very publicly that people like Donald Trump need to be banished. And he said it in a way where it was, and this is during that whole anti-Trump thing that everybody was on board with. So people like him are on board for.
I think banished is like
Well,
canceled.
yeah, no, it was on a lot of things. It was. I'm just saying, your enemy's enemy is your friend, and for me, my enemies are people like that, and it seems like people I really really hate that I see in the media, like the real evil people, they are publicly anti-Trump, like Ellen DeGeneres,
She left.
Tom Hanks.
He left.
Yes, those are all people that are totally,
they
but
left,
they're
though.
evil, and they left because your enemy's enemy is your friend.
But they left
And
because of what we talked last week. That's why they left.
I
We didn't
know.
even get into that
And
part.
they wouldn't be leaving if if the Democratic Party won presidency. That's 100% because that stuff would be overlooked and they wouldn't have been in fear of their lives.
So what do you think on a hypothetical? Because we don't know if any of that's true about the Diddy being and buying that. Where do you think we'd be as a country? Because I actually watched a video on this. So it's your viewpoint. If Kamala would have taken office at this point, 6 to 8 months in, where do you think we'd be as a country?
Well, I don't know. Keep flooding the gates. We'd all be in it together. We'd be worse. I don't know. I don't think that far ahead. I just know they're evil. So stop them. We did, and hopefully the next Democratic president will be more level-headed and they find some sort of mutual ground there in that gray area. Maybe Donald Trump's pushing one side too far. Maybe he's not. Hey, dude, you got to pick a side and run with it. You can't, be wishy-washy.
They're all under the same umbrella as a politician.
I don't know. I'm rooting for the home team even when they're doing bad.
That's like Spectrum and AT&T, in my opinion. People talk about internet, right? Speeds and things like that. I got a gig. I got this. It almost feels right now as a country that no matter which way we went, we were going to be at war. Does it feel that way? It looks like right now we're on that path. I don't think either side would have let us get to war. But we don't know, and we'll never know, because I don't think she'll be the Democratic representative going forward. Where would we be? And I think that sometimes I am thankful that we do have closed borders because of what we're finding with some of these raids.
We'd be China eventually.
Again, with some of these raids, I'm happy that they're finding warmongers. They're finding criminals. It is unfortunate. They're taking a lot of good people with it that weren't criminals. So I think the original focus was he was going to focus on criminals. And now we've gotten outside of criminals, and it makes you wonder, were there really that many criminals, as he said, that came over the border? If that was the focus, why did we get done with that so quick? And now we're wrangling up, nail shop owners and, restaurant owners. Are they all criminals as well at the level he was talking about? Because he was talking about the rapists, the gang members, the murderers, the criminals, the ones that you should fear. And I don't feel like, Miss Garcia at the corner store was worth getting taken, right? Or maybe she was, and maybe she was flooding kilos and, pumping the streets. We don't know that. We don't know their background. So I am stuck on the fence, but I have to say, I feel like not every person he's taking is the targeted group he said he's going to take.
Well,
they just passed a bill that now they can deport U.S. citizens.
I haven't really heard any stories that threw up any flags in my.
But you also don't watch the news. You said you don't follow social media.
I only really hear shit that really spikes. So
that's kind of like we were talking about that Bigfoot video, really spiking.
Well, they're pushing the narrative. You can tell they're pushing that video. Like, oh, here's a video blog of a Bigfoot.
So I refuse to put it on here and show a clip of it because I don't want to give it the push. But what do you think them videos are pushing? I only watched one video. From what I understand, you've only seen one or two. One, I believe you said.
I watched maybe 2 seconds of one. I heard his voice and I turned it. Yeah.
I don't even really know what his voice sounds like once you say that. I just remember I told you laughing about the honey pack video. That's what I saw. But why is he being pushed? Is an agenda, and I want to contribute. Whoever made this AI Bigfoot, you're fucking genius. Like we both agree on that. But what's the agenda behind it? It doesn't make sense to me. Are they bracing us to say Bigfoot's real? Because you say everything's in movies. They tell us beforehand. This is what you and Amy were talking about last week. They preemptive tell us things. What is the big agenda with the Bigfoot?
It's annoying for me just having to scroll past it when I'm seeing other shit.
You live in the woods, man. What if a fucking Bigfoot
stuff
walks out while you're forging some shit?
It was a big raccoons, but nothing I call a Bigfoot, man. I don't believe in a Bigfoot, dude. I think that's just all made up.
You believe in aliens?
Yeah. I just don't believe in Bigfoot.
You don't think they genetically modified a gorilla with a giraffe?
They could have.
I'm sorry. I don't know where I came up with giraffe. I just said it.
Giraffes have the highest blood pressure of all mammals.
I don't believe that either. But
to get blood to their brains, they have the highest blood. They have the biggest heart, the highest blood pressure.
The biggest heart.
The biggest heart with the highest blood pressure to get blood to the brains. You know the most common death of a giraffe is?
No, asphyxiation. I thought you were about to say, you know what the most common death of a podcast co-host is? You're like this. Hey, look, and what's funny is I know he's mad at me right now, and I was going to push it and test him, but I'm like, man, I don't know what his day was like. It's been rough at work, so I don't want to piss him off. But I feel it's okay for us to have opposing viewpoints on certain things, and I think it's okay for us also to have the same viewpoint, but talk about it from every point of view. I think sometimes you're very protective of Donald Trump. that you should be his security
No,
guard.
I just don't understand the whole like if you always like argue something, but you give
I
two
don't
options. You're
argue, I
like,
say,
well,
yeah.
this and this, and
Well,
you agree that you would protect your house, right? Yeah, I would. Well, then it's the same thing, and now and it's like, well, wait a second, what did I just agree to? The way you bring shit up
what
is
did I
like
just
it's
agree
very
to?
it's very confusing sometimes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, who knows? I don't know. You guys tell me, am I confusing out there? If I am, I need to figure out and work on it, you know? So tell me what I can be constructive and better with. Casey,
Huh.
I want you to look up Chernobyl.
It doesn't. I don't know.
No,
It doesn't affect
that's
me.
real life world history that like was what made nuclear fusion and everything. Like, oh damn, it takes out whole cities.
Are they trying to hide that? Is there a big
No,
cover up of it?
no,
Okay.
that's out in the open. That's something that
See,
that's why I
something
was
I don't
surprised
care
you didn't
about.
know.
Now, Hawaii, the whole burning of Hawaii, that was such a huge cover up. That's something that's like
But what's
worth
going
looking
on
into.
with it? Fill me in.
Oh no, I'm just talking about it in general. It's like remember that back in the day when like a bunch of people died and all those kids went missing? Yeah, what happened with it? Well, there's Donald Trump as the president. I think people just stopped talking about it. It was
Well,
just over.
that should be concerning. The only thing that changed was Donald Trump. Is he covering it up?
No, I don't. I'm not saying the two go hand in hand.
It sounded pretty. I mean, Donald Trump and Oprah were really good friends. Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. Elon done came out and said he's sorry for outing Donald Trump. I'm concerned that maybe, he knows where they're going. And that's why we haven't learned anything. And we're getting a bunch of distractions right now.
I think there's millions of children underneath Oprah's house.
I think there's some under Mar-a-Lago. Your face
Probably
is
buried.
priceless. You're just like, I'm not going to do this. No, as far as I'm sure I don't even know if they're here. Real shit, if there's no aliens, would be an awful waste of space. Hey, you are not wrong. You are, guys. Hey, I want to go back to that.
What?
If there's no aliens, it would be an awful waste of space. I agree, but what if space isn't real?
Simulation theory. We're all programmed.
What's your programming? Because I feel like when you say your programming is reset a couple times, we're different people at different stages in our life. Some we're trying to make it. Some we've made it and trying to sustain. Some we could be losing it and trying to get it back. I think everybody has those stages in life.
I think we're all programmed not to see stuff, and there's stuff happening directly in front of our faces, and like we're programmed not to see it.
What were those glasses that they had?
Have you seen the movie The Giver? There's also a book. My daughter
I'm
made me
going to say the book
watch
I've
it.
heard of. I didn't know the movie.
Yeah, it has Jeff Bridges in it, and it's like a controlled society that has like a dome, and within the dome they can control what everybody can see, say, or like just under command.
So like your eyes can see something that my eyes couldn't
They
see.
see like black and white because color gets offensive. Their history is erased, so yeah, they have no history of memory of war. Everything's positive, and everybody has a job, and they have like a dude. If you ever seen The Giver, it'll fucking and somebody has a job, for example, like the dad. Babies that are born and brought in, and if they're not perfect, there's something wrong with it. Like it's not a perfect baby. His job is to give it a shot and send it away to pack in a package. And he doesn't realize that he's actually killing this baby and shipping it off because it didn't meet the quality, standpoint for a baby. Because everybody's programmed basically to.
Well, we are programmed from very young ages.
Exactly. So
I mean, I think about how many white people get scared when they see a black guy coming and grab a purse. They've been programmed.
And I think you would be programmed. I'm sorry, I didn't say. I'm just saying. You said, but what were you programmed to be? I think yours is a lot of race included. You always make everything black and white.
Because, like you just said, that's life. I didn't get to finish my statement. And again, they have been programmed. Yes. You know why they've been programmed? Because people did take their purses. That's programming, right? It is programming. That's survival. Just like if I saw a white guy walking down the street and he had on a Confederate flag and a big ass gun, probably going to move out of the way a little bit. It's just we do it naturally. It's not racist. It's going to be straight up. I see my life as my life. Again, our lives are viewed different. That's why we're good at this. Is because I'm a black man. You're a white man. You've lived as a good American, a Marine.
That's programming to see black and white and take that. If we just saw everybody, if you,
I can deprogram my eyes to not see color.
The way I see you and the way I see people in general is right now you are a soul within a body that's you're using that body to carry around your fucking mindset. It doesn't matter if you're in a wheelchair, if you're half covered in lesions, you're made out of hair. If I can communicate with you and you're moving around in a body source, that's your transportation device for that brain, that mindset, that intent inside of you, your ego.
So what's my intent with me seeing color?
What's your ego? I think you're very defensive.
I'm asking.
With you seeing color, I think you get very defensive, and it's more of a physical thing. I think once we've lived and we hit a certain point where we can separate and see the difference between our animal instincts, something as simple as a smell or something tasting good is a reaction to your body. It's totally separate from your mind. So by seeing something or getting agitated or being affected by a color of something is so different than if you were just to see something as this is just like their car that they're driving in.
Have you been racially profiled?
100%. Everybody
and
has.
It's affected your life.
And you know what? And it was always by somebody that didn't have the same mindset that I have now. And it's somebody, and I can see it too.
You were racially profiled.
Everybody gets racially profiled because
tell me a story.
It's not just race. It's everybody gets profiled in one way or another.
100%.
I was driving around at nighttime in a gelato looking fucking crappy vehicle with shitty, just nothing illegal about it. Shitty vehicle at midnight in Palmdale, California.
I don't know nothing about Palmdale. Tell us what that is.
Okay, a cop sees a car and they profile. What is this person driving around late at night? They must be looking for drugs or something.
Is that like a bad area, good area?
There's good and bad areas, and this was going through right through the middle of both of them. So it doesn't matter. This is
so I got pulled over,
and this is many a times. This is just one situation that pulls up. I thought of my earliest situation when I first started driving, and dude, this is gonna sound like such a nerd fucking thing to do. I was driving late at night to go to my buddy Patrick DeLeon. He had these nerd buddies, and this is before the internet got big. So the only way to play like teams against the internet is on like a local network. So we went to this office building that one of their dads worked in, and we used all the computers, and we set up a local network, and we're doing teams like their village versus our village, and it was so much fun. And like, but I was driving around late at night in the middle of, and these cops pulled me over, and they're like, "Oh, we pulled you over for your exhaust," and I was legit thinking, "There's something wrong with my exhaust." No, they made up a story to pull me over because they thought I was up to no good because I was in a shitty car late at night, and they stereotyped. And that was not because of the color of my skin, but it doesn't matter. It was the situation I was in. And I judge people all the time for the situation that I'm in because I realize there's people intent at even a young age, or somebody who gives in more to their animal instincts than they do their ego, as long as they're there for a morally good purpose. And if you can see that through someone's eyes when you look at them, and you can see that they're not looking to get one over from you, and see, because when you and I hang out, you don't try to get anything from me. No. You don't take up anything but my time, and I let you because I fucking like you. Because your intent is not evil. But I feel like
it's like sometimes you're really fucked up with race, man. And you want to know, and I'm going to speak freely here from the opposite side, right? Being racially profiled as a white man in a black neighborhood is immediately saying he has too much money to be here. Why is he here? He has to be doing something wrong. Is what you're saying. Is they stereotyped you. You didn't look like you belonged there. You looked like you were up to no good. That's you were a white guy in a black neighborhood, right? I'm assuming because I don't know. I'm asking because I don't know. Palm.
I was driving around at nighttime. Everybody gets stereotyped for doing shit.
Yeah,
and if I was black, then I would say, here's my point. Here's my point. Anybody could have been doing wrong. So cops, yeah. If I was black, though, and I was pulled over,
you would not be talking the same way.
Hold on. Hey man, if I was black, I'm not good at black impression. I was trying to go back to like,
hey Nick,
was that racist? Motown. Hey man, drive turkey and shit. No, if I was black though, and I got pulled over in that same exact situation, I can easily say it's nighttime. They saw a black dude driving around. They pulled me over, and
So
people
it's
be like,
funny to
"Yeah."
me because I've never been racially profiled
Every
by
time I
cops. So
got
it's
pulled
funny to me
over,
that
it
this
was
was
over
this
for
thing.
some. I felt because I felt like I was getting targeted.
See, I've never been racially profiled by cops.
I got pulled over for such stupid shit. I was like, why in the they pulled me over in my Cadillac. Oh, we couldn't read your tip tag well. And he's looking through my shit and trying to look, like trying to find something wrong. And I was like, dude, I felt like I was being fucking violated.
Their job is to try to find
And
a
if
reason
I
to
was
take you
black,
to
I'd
jail.
be like, and if I was black in that same exact situation, I can say, you know what? This is definitely because he's profiling me. And he was, but I wasn't black. I was just somebody driving a car that
I
he
didn't
thought
say
maybe
you
I'd drive
couldn't be
safe.
profiled. I will say I was amazed that it was by cops. I've never been racially profiled by cops.
Hmm.
Never once. I've
Oh,
been in the whitest of white neighborhoods. I live in a white neighborhood. Been in the darkest of darkest. I've never been racially profiled by cops. I have, however, been racially profiled by the white guy that walks up trying to buy a Sprint cell phone that thinks I want to steal his fucking identity, but I have my Sprint attire on and I'm trying to sell you a cell phone. Or, that I'm in the store and all of a sudden they feel they need to follow me, but I haven't even picked up anything. I've experienced racial profiling differently. But I will say, when I've looked around, the only reason I feel it's racial profiling is because I'm the only black one. And it turns out they're all following the only black one. So that's racial profiling, in my opinion. The stereotyping of cops, their job is to stereotype you. That's how they get criminals. But I can say I have never personally been racially profiled.
okay.
I got pulled over for speeding because I was speeding. I did, however, get pulled over for tints, and I just think they wanted to see who was behind the tinted windows because I didn't even get a tint ticket. So, like, I don't know. But that surprises
My
me that that
stepdad
was
got a tent
yours.
ticket. Yeah. And
No, I'm just saying that honestly, that one like blew my mind that you've been racially profiled by cops. But
I
then again, we as a black people in the
I did
city,
say I was profiled for being in a shitty car. I did not say I was racially profiled by cops.
you,
I
this
said
all
I was
started off of racial profiling. Is what I was
he's
saying.
getting profiled.
So yeah,
And I was saying that there isn't a whole lot of racial profile. There's more profiling, like a situation more so than black and white. And that's my point exactly. Is I got pulled over either way, but if I was black, I would have said, "Oh, it's because he was racially profiling me." Because
I don't
a
know the
lot of people
statistics, but I know that.
driving while black. Martin Lawrence said in the movie, it was what was it? That funny ass fucking movie, the cop one. He's in so many cop movies.
Some of my favorite videos, honestly, on the internet on YouTube, when I do get on there, is when you get the cop pulled over the wrong guy, right? They pulled over one of theirs, they pull over an FBI agent or something, and it's
Mm-hmm.
all profiling and stereotyping, and then they normally get quiet and they realize, fuck, I fucked up. But again, I will say we are, like we said before, two different people, two different bodies. I can guarantee you there's not too many people that are white that know what it's like to be black and that are black that know what it's like to be white. But I know we live two different lives by interactions.
Yeah,
But
and
I
we know the
also
lives
know,
that we live, so
I
you
also
adjust
know
accordingly.
that I have interactions totally different when I'm wearing what I'm wearing now versus when I'm in a business suit. But then again, I think we're all the same way. We talk to somebody different when they're in a t-shirt and jeans than we do when they're in a business suit. I mean, that's why there's, like people don't dress up in business to walk to the fucking dollar store.
Maybe experience has spoiled me where I disagree with you. I don't judge a person by what they're wearing. I've seen met way too many rich people
I
that look
didn't
like
say
they
I
ain't got a
was
dollar.
judging them. I said you talk to them different. Most people in
Oh, okay.
society,
I don't. I
when
thought.
they're
Well,
in a
I'm sorry.
business suit, react differently to a person wearing. And this is why in sales they tell you to never judge someone. What you're literally saying is the reason I'm saying people do this all the time. You may be the different one that doesn't judge them because you know different from experience, but the majority of people judge people by their exterior. That's why if a group of people, white or black, walking towards you are in sagging pants, they look like a group of gangsters, they got tattoos on their faces, you're more likely to move over than you are a group of businessmen walking towards you.
So,
This is all science and
so if they're
sociology.
black,
This isn't.
so if they're black, I'm supposed to think that they have less money.
I never said that.
Well, you said that black living in a white neighborhood, you know that they're all thinking he
No,
doesn't have
I'm
enough
I'm
money to
going to
live
say
here.
that statistically that the underdeveloped urban neighborhoods are predominantly black, and yes, it's very rare there are white people that live in the city. It is predominantly black. So when you find yourself as a police officer who patrols a neighborhood and might know that this neighborhood is a black neighborhood, and I've known everybody on the street for 7 years. Yeah, why is this white guy over here? This don't look right. This is off. He's not in a construction truck. This is, like you just said, stereotyping and profiling. No, this is if you look at urban development, you look at where I'm talking about money-wise. I didn't say black people don't have money. I said where you're talking about, if it's underdeveloped, means that likelihood of poverty is higher.
I'm talking about the specific situation you said about being a black guy living in a predominantly white neighborhood. They look at you like shouldn't have enough money to live here. It's what you just said earlier.
No, that isn't. I never said that. They didn't say I don't.
You implied it had to do with money, and it had to do with you being black and not having enough money
No,
to
when
live
you pull
here.
up in $100,000 SUV at the gas station, and I look young, most people look and say, "How did he get that?" Now you throw that in that I'm in a predominantly
assume it's their
white
dad,
neighborhood, and none of my white neighbors talk to me. None of them. Okay, that's something I can say. Hey, it's weird. They all have a fucking fire out and wave at each other. When I wave, they don't wave. Casey comes to my house and walks out and waves, and I say, don't do that, because they don't wave at me and they're waving at Casey. I can easily say at this point, they waved at my mom when she was here. They waved at every white person that's been here. They have not waved at any of the black people. Is it weird? Yes, it's weird. That is something I can say is weird. I can observe something that I live and say that that's bizarre, especially when I've lived here now for 5 years. And I've watched somebody who's been here a few times walk out and wave at my neighbor that I've waved at least 20 times, who's never waved back. And the moment you wave, they wave. That is something for me to be like, huh, what the fuck? What is the only difference?
Have you ever changed a horse's shoe?
No. Why would I?
Now, when you go to change a horse's shoe,
again,
there's a special way. Hold on, there's a special way where you run your hand down the leg, and then you gain the trust of the horse, and then you pull it up, and it takes a certain type. When you're waving at a white neighbor, you got to do it a certain way.
Hi, neighbor. Done it.
Oh, you smile way too soon. That's what. It's creepy.
I normally don't smile. Normally I do this. Or I take that back. I have one neighbor that talks to me. They're next door, and I'm like, hey, what's going on, boss? The same way I do to everybody.
Hey, pretend I'm your not white neighbor, but we're not like right next to each other. Pretend like I'm
three houses down.
Three houses down?
No, there's a house over. Just a house over.
Just a house over. I come out. I crack my back. I do a double take. I see you standing there. We make eye contact for a second.
What do I do?
And I'm looking like, is this a friendly or a non-friendly? That's what I'm thinking as just a homeowner.
What makes me friendly or non-friendly?
I don't fucking know you.
Okay, so what do I? You just look over at me. Good answer.
I've been established.
When you're looking at me right now, what do you think? Friendly or non-friendly? Friendly or non-friendly?
So far, I'm thinking friendly because you look clean. Most of the unfriendlies I come across, they're dirty and greasy.
You don't got black forces on.
I'm still mid-crack. I don't know if I'm up or down at
this point. And I'm walking out to my car, right? As I'm walking out to my car, and at this point, I look over and see you, right? And this is where you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm stretching.
You have your fists balled up like this,
and
in a mid crack. Look, in a mid crack, I dead ass to be like, and just get in my car.
You know what? If it was me personally, I'd probably give the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if your neighbors probably don't do this. Then again, I don't live in your fucking neighborhood. I would not live in neighborhood. You live in a nice neighborhood that I fucking hate. So chances are, I take it all back. These are fucking racist pieces of shit, fucking nerdy faggots that need to die. If you live near Stacy Bonds, fuck you.
He just had to think about it. He said, wait a minute. I don't like this neighborhood. Why am I defending this? Wait a minute. Yeah, fuck them.
Because I would wave. If you
exactly.
Yeah, look,
that is my point.
Let me finish how I would do it.
And I would be like, and I'd get in the car, start it. You know, when the first time the lady across the street, diagonal to me, talked to me, when I came home with my Hellcat destroyed from fucking hail, she walks over and goes, oh, they're going to total that. I looked at her in her face. I said, no, they're not. When that motherfucker pulled back in the driveway, they were outside. I backed in. She's like, you can see her face go from, she's in playing with the kids. Like, and in my mind, I told Asia, I said, I never got joy out of that before. This was the first time I'm like, bitch, you came to talk to me in my misfortune. just to tell me it was misfortune.
That's when you want to be friendly.
Like, fuck you, bitch. Like, that's what went through my head.
She was
You
probably going, oh, I bet you don't have insurance.
And hey, fuck you, Casey, because they probably were. Now that you say that, like, oh my God, hey, you about to have me flicking them bitches off. Like, I swear to God. Because look, I'm wondering, do they have homeowners insurance? Which is why that's funny to me. Because when we walk out tonight, I'm going to point at their roof and I'm going to show you. I'm like, all right, we're getting a new roof and siding put on because homeowners insurance and hail, right? Great. Hey, salesman, you should go talk to them. You see on their roof, they're missing a piece and their siding's flat. You should, go talk to them. They got like 6 kids. You could probably get that house. 6 kids. I said, yeah, he goes, they probably don't got insurance. It's like, I just started laughing. I'm like, that's crazy though. She probably did think, damn, he's not insured. That's wild. That's wild. Thank you for showing me the white person's point of view.
Yeah, you had holes in your windows and everything. She's
Man,
like, oh,
blew out.
He does have toddler seats.
I've never seen the inside of that car.
Seatbelts use on you. Look on you.
Fuck you, Casey. I use my seatbelt because of you.
Do you know?
Yes.
You better.
Sometimes. I'm sorry. I'm being real. But it's funny you say that because now that I replay that whole memory, she dead ass probably was like, he doesn't have insurance.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
That's why she was shocked when you pulled in the driveway. He does have insurance.
They really are good people. Damn it. I can't stand it. And I think they judge me because one of the first times my son was out across the street, the guy across the street, his son was running around with my son's shoe. And I'm just like, man, I teach my son structure. I would never let my son on a cold day take your son's shoe and run around. There's just certain things we don't do, and I just can't bring my child around no structure. And then your kid wears off on my kid, comes home, and now my kid's in trouble for some shit your kid was doing. And it's fucked up because the dad's a great dad.
You're who you hang with, and I think at the root, back in the day, at the beginning of time and shit, before we had all
a racist white man, Casey.
Huh? Are you?
Yes.
I'm not going to answer that because I don't want to fight with you for the rest of the night.
Oh, JC comment on that. You my A1 answer. Racist white man. It's fucked up because my best friend I call brother. Sometimes I'm like, man, this dude is really racist. But then I feel his point of view. And I've thought about the stereotype shit for a long time. And I'm like, man, I wanted to make the first comment because I'm like, we the people have caused the programming. But when is the other set of people do you see the new programming? That people are just trying to make it. People are trying to fucking pay their bills, eat food, take care of their kids, stay out the way. We don't want to go to war. We don't want problems.
The programming. When we talked about the programming, I think the big thing with me and why I'm off the grid and why I have this mindset, I quit eating fast food that causes ADD and fucking stupidness. I quit drinking alcohol that makes you reset your fucking day every day. I quit doing everything that sets me back and I've started moving forward. And that's when I started having these epiphanies. That's when I started seeing people as who they are. Like I see myself because I put a bubble so close around myself. I had to look at myself for a long fucking time before I realized most of my bad decisions were off of impulses and alcohol. And if you make impulses off of this thing you're using to travel around in for booze, sex, drugs, get a quick stimulation, something within, you're cheating yourself because the stimulation you get up here from using this thing to move around, these are the antennas of your soul. Don't use it for drugs. Use it for productive shit, farming, doing stuff that you get something out of. I'm making knives that are going to be around for generations. Are you playing games that are going to get deleted off a hard drive? You're stupid. Go fuck yourself. Casey
or you could be a future millionaire because that's the new world.
And you know what? If you really want money, then I don't want to talk to you because I'm not about money. I just so happen to get it because I'm into shit people want. Real shit.
I will say AI is the future, whether you like it or not.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to be part of it, and I'm going to die once again.
You are part of it. You use Google.
Google has been around before AI. I don't go, hey, Google AI, look up something AI. You know what? If it helps me find shit faster, I don't care because I'm looking up ways to find metal to forge shit. Not looking to make it
metal so far.
favorite metal so far is lawnmower blades because that's all I've been fucking using.
Let's get this guy some steel, guys.
Hey, I need some. Hey, somebody get me some fucking leaf springs. Leaf fucking springs, please.
Any mechanics out there? We need what again?
Leaf springs.
I'm
Boing,
Stacy.
boing. I'm Casey.
Y'all have a great night.
Peace.